Hey, Internet. Welcome back to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast where we continue the march into madness. I'm Raza Malik, and I'm joined with my Amazeballs co-host, Bailey Nargang. Also featuring the lovely Wine Mom, the arbiter of everything TikTok and YouTube.
Hey, it's Wine Mom.
Bailey here. Gotta drop that reminder that you can find this show on any streaming service you use. Remember to leave a sassy review, and you want to bash us or our opinions generally? Well, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and maybe some other places in the future.
I join these guys weekly to keep their egos in check as we break down complex social issues and talk about why your kids shouldn't be watching family vloggers.
We talk about real-ish on a real level. Ain't got time for the Twitters? Don't worry, we have collectively wasted our existence combing the internet for you.
Also, before these two get carried away, don't be shy. Join our Discord for the inside scoop. You can also support us on Patreon, where you can work your way up our very own class system. And don't worry, it's pay to win.
So welcome back to another episode of Same Shit, Different Day, where we try not to rip each other's heads off.
Let's get it. What's up, internets? This is Same Shit, Different Day, the podcast with a name that we can't say anymore. Today, this week, we're talking about Travis Scott and the implications of that whole issue that we got going on there. And then also, we're going to be healthy and do some self-help tips a la Raza's advice. And we're going to talk about burning out and how to avoid burning out. So,
not being burnout, by the way.
That's a good pun. I didn't even catch that. Good job. But so Travis Scott shows the approach that me and Raza were chatting about on the weekend when we were wrapping our heads around it. We wanted to make sure that we weren't taking another boomer approach to the conversation of like, oh, is it bad? Like, oh, concerts. It's like, we wanted to take more of an approach talking about as experienced concert goers. What does this mean for like the future of concerts, the concert going experience, and in general, like if we're punk rock fans, if we're alt rock fans, like are we going to be able to go in a mosh pit at all anymore?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Say goodbye to mosh pit.
Yeah. Say goodbye to the wall of death. The
wall of death. Yeah.
Those are my
I miss those.
Over.
Yeah, the walls of.
Yeah, those things are always so fun.
So funny. That's okay.
Well, because there was a big sense of camaraderie when you're in there. That's the weird punk rock thing. You end up, and that's okay. I can carry the rant here. Then is because it's
here we go.
and when you go to like alt rock or punk rock stuff, they teach you this sense of like community, right? So if you're moshing, you're supposed to stop and like pick up the kid, right? Like you're supposed to make sure you're all. Some dude is way too hammered. He jumps off the stage and he face plants. You don't just leave him there, right? You pick him up and you bring him to the side so he could sit down. Now, that sense of community is kind of like fostered when you go to a couple shows. You learn what's good. I literally had some weird fucking dude with a 5-foot tall mohawk like put his arm around me as a fucking 14-year-old and say, "Hey, buddy, you got to do this and this," right? That's not happening at like a Travis Scott show. It's some kid who's a hype beast, who's really into his music, and I'm not discrediting their enjoyment of the music, but they're going to these events and there isn't any sort of lessons on like how to take care of the people beside you. No one's really going to say, "Hey, look, man, if you see someone fall over, you should probably check if they're okay." They're just going to get lit, bro. So like, it's not their fault either that that's happening. It just does make it a more dangerous situation.
Very. See, I've always had this opinion where it's like, when you go to like a hardcore show and there's mosh pits and it's a very aggressive. People are punching each other in the face there. I think the difference is like that community, like it's just a softer community, even though it doesn't seem like it. Just people who listen to hardcore music are just very different. And a lot of the times, like not everybody there is like drunk or high. They're just like trying to have this moment, I guess. And a lot of people I know that do those things are not like aggressive people. They're usually pretty chill, and that's where they kind of let out. But the impression that I got from this show is like it was just pure chaos. Like I couldn't watch some of the videos because it was too upsetting for me.
Yeah.
Like I know like for my experiences, like I've been on Warp Tour and stuff like that, and a lot of the times the bands like singers and whatnot are like encouraging the audience to be like, if you're gonna mosh, be careful, like actually
Yeah.
reciprocate the teachings or the etiquette for moshing. I know I don't think Travis Scott was doing that. He was more or less saying, "Hey, um, open this wall up. I want to see dead people or
Yeah.
something."
The thing is,
Yeah.
like, okay, I find like with Travis, it's more like he wants to be what hardcore, like, I want to call them basement bands, because, like, let's be real, that's where a lot of these mosh pits are happening, is like basement shows or like dive bar shows. And he
Mhm.
wants that like rock star vibe, but bigger. And it's like, with all due respect, you're not a rock star, you kind of stink. Just saying.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to generate
Fair.
this environment, and he's trying to make it mainstream, because the thing is, like, moshing and that sort of, like, I guess, way of enjoying music is not really mainstream. It's kind of a small
Mhm.
community. Like, let's be real. It's a small community that
I
is usually like on Twitter or Tumblr. Like, let's be real.
I think
And so he's
it's
Mhm.
trying to make it bigger than it is, and like trying to make it his brand, because no other, I guess, black rappers are doing that. So he's
I,
trying to cultivate that, and it's like,
I would
okay.
I would say he already successfully has in a couple ways. I mean,
Mm,
Trippy, all those kids, because of Travis Scott, all those kids have that vibe. Like that whole triple like XXS Tentacion era was all about raging and punk rock shit. But I digress. There is the on that note. In a way, I agree, and it's like but why do you have to do it at the 50,000 audience? I think you could
Yeah.
easily be,
Yeah.
you could have a really sick event where it's only like 2,000 people, whatever. The tickets are still fucking $400. Who cares? And then you get to
Mhm.
mosh in person with an exclusive event with Travis Scott. Doesn't that sound just as appealing and fun rather than like
Yeah.
almost
but
dying in a crowd of 50,000
you're
people?
you're correct, but I don't feel like he's successful in that degree. I feel like he's wanting it to be something, and he's just trying to make it mainstream and big, because this is the thing, is like, this happens often with celebrities, right? When they get really famous and popular, they take small niche things and then try to turn them into big mainstream things, so that they can claim it as like their thing. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to claim this as like his thing. And so, even by you saying, well, he is successful, it is his thing, is like, okay, but it's not his thing. It's garage bands, basement bands, small, artists, bands, whatever you want to call them. It's their niche. It's their thing that he's
I,
trying to make mainstream, and instead he's making it dangerous, because once you take something like that, which is in a very controlled environment, when you go to a hardcore show, it's a very controlled environment, and then when you move it to like a stage of like billions of people, you've now turned it into a not safe environment anymore. And like, he knows
Yeah.
better,
mhm.
he
Yeah.
knows.
And like yeah, and like on top of that, like I don't think that like I do think a lot of the onus, what we were saying pre-stream, is on the venue themselves.
I think the security in the venue have a lot to do with it, but I don't
Y-
think it's blame free. Also, before you go on,
Yeah,
Raza, Bailey, your
yeah.
camera's
I
on.
know, I know. Keep talking. I can fix it on the go. Keep talking.
Okay. Go ahead, Raza.
It's I think that like the venue does have some of a blame. Um, because they should have accommodated like, oh, okay, if it's going to be this many people, maybe we should have sort of like rules to not um do that. And like also Travis Scott should have been told not to have like something as
Well,
big.
like, that's the thing I'm really confused about. That's one thing I'm
Mhm.
very, very confused. Not only are we still in a global pandemic, right?
Mhm.
But like, how on God's green earth did that many people get squeezed into that small of a venue? Because
Yeah,
like, the
that's yeah.
venue looks huge, it's really not that big. Like it's really not for the type of show he was putting on. And even if all those people, let's say, were vaccinated or whatever protocols were whatever, I didn't see masks. There was no social distancing. There was no safety measures there, just as a general safety concern with a pandemic going on. Let alone the fact that he was encouraging people to literally punch each other and act wild in a small
Yeah.
venue space. Like I'm very confused.
Yeah, I was
So like,
reading in I was reading in the
yeah, sorry.
reporting that was a lot of the gray lines, that was, yeah, because he was encouraging people to like skip the lines and go to the floor seats. So like that, yeah, that it was like way over capacity, because he was even further encouraging not following the guidelines or going into your seats. So it was like double bad when it comes to
Right.
capacity.
Well, that's the thing too, is I saw a lot of people online saying, "Oh, if you went to the show without tickets, you're part of the problem." And I was like, "Wait, people got in there without
Oh,
tickets?"
ticket? I didn't know
Like,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
confused.
It's part of the
But that
case that I don't know if it was this show, but at least one of the ones for the Astro World Tour, he was specifically telling people on Twitter to jump the fence and skip the line.
I just like he's so boring. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but this whole thing, like he's so fucking boring. Like you're not cool, dude. Ugh.
And the whole thing of about like the whole like moshing thing, and the whole like, because from my experience, it's all about camaraderie. And like you have to like be from everybody at the venue, from the people who are going to like the concert holders to the management, has to be has to care about the safety of everybody at the show. And like I've learned that from going to these punk shows, because that's how people avoid being injured. They just care about one another. Like I remember, like, yeah, like what Bailey was saying, somebody had to teach him. Somebody had to teach me how to properly mosh or properly
Okay,
like
right.
about that.
I
So like here's the tea though. If
yeah.
he's creating that environment, right? Like he wants that environment at his shows. That means he's been to shows that do that, which
And he
Yeah.
knows
means
about them.
then he's educated on the protocol or the whatever it's, what do you call it? The etiquette of those situations, and then went, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause he,
hey,
No, that's
and then
they have those terrible videos of the ambulance in the crowd, right? Like you're telling me you didn't see the ambulance. Even if give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, you don't want to stop the show completely. You're not going to stop it even on mic. Be like, yo, let the ambulance get to the dude. Like he didn't even respond to seeing first responders in the audience. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you got to
right.
be aware that something's happening, right?
Like I have been to some heavy metal shows in my youth, and even they have stopped saying, hey, is that person okay? Let's stop the show. Let's somebody help her, help them up, or something like that. Like if stopping the show isn't like is it should be like, from what I've seen, is on the bottom up their priority list, because ultimately, yeah, like if you're properly doing it, then it's about like
Right.
safety, as about caring about it all. So
Yeah,
I
and
will say,
you
sorry,
go,
go
my
ahead.
mom. No,
No,
you.
no, no, go ahead. Go.
I've personally had an experience similar to this shit, like myself, right? Is like I've been stuck in the crowd of like 10,000 people. I had one or two many fungi friends to nibble on, and I was getting close to anxiety attack. And when you're that deep in the middle of the crowd, everyone's pushing you around. You have no control over your body, where you're going. Like if I wasn't a Bailey with a little bit stronger mental fortitude, like it's scary, it's terrifying, and I was in a smaller sized crowd. That's like the like 5,000 people. I could only it would be very scary. It was rough for me as it was, right? So it's
Yeah.
like
yeah,
I think people neglect that feeling of being trapped that happens when you're in like a sea of humans as they hear about these stories.
Yeah. I mean, I'm short, so I don't have that problem. I can get to the front of a stage and back pretty quickly, pretty easy. But no, I just think like with all of this coming out, right? I'd say like the only thing right now that I'm really kind of like, okay, this is dumb. Like, why are you guys doing this now? Is that on the internet, in order to like make Travis look even stupider, which like I don't know why we're trying to even make him look stupider. You don't need to, and whatever. Um, there's a lot of videos that are going around of other artists stopping their show, and I don't know if
Yeah.
it's pre or post Travis debacle, but it's like very cringy, and it's like, okay, why are we celebrating people for doing bare minimum as an artist
Yeah.
with supporting fans? Like, let's not do that, and instead just to continue to call out directly what the issues are and stop, like, because this is the thing, you can compare Travis to a million different artists. He does not give a fuck. So you're not
Yeah.
doing anything by doing that. As far as he's concerned, he's above and better than them, which is why he behaved the way that he did at the show. So you're not really teaching him anything. You're just kind of getting annoying, especially like on TikTok. It's really annoying to see. But it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
don't celebrate people for literally doing the bare minimum, because that's
Yeah.
why
It's
we
just
have a lot of these fucking
yeah.
like
Like I saw a video of SZA or yeah SZA or doing doing. Is everybody
SZA you're talking about?
SZA? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? I'm thinking, who is
Why?
moshing at your show? Your show is not mosh music. Like, I don't put on her jam, but like I want to breakdance.
I mean, like, there's probably some validity. Though there's probably some validity to it, like, you know, because fans are excited and maybe they faint or get too hot or depending on the venue and stuff. I get that, but it's
Yeah.
like, why are we allowing these other celebrities to get positive press off a negative situation? Because if they really wanted to do something powerful, they would have called Travis out on his shit and they would have donated to the families that lost their children. That's what they
Yeah.
would have done in all reality. Just saying.
And has I know his apology stuff is like being memed and stuff, but like has he said anything else like
So like
since then?
so I don't know who, there was a rapper that was at the tour. First of all, Drake was there, and
And
of course
that's
Yeah.
that man did fuck all.
ain't
I'm
Yeah,
not
nobody
even
Bailey
gonna
talking
fight
told
about
me
that
and
that
she's
guy.
no
talking about
He's a
more.
that.
fucking idiot. He's an idiot. Whatever. He was there. He did nothing. But there was one guy, a part of the show, who was like, I'm literally going to donate all of my, like, he was like, once I make my money, like, once I break even, everything else on that, like, I'm donating all of it. And I think, like, that's a big deal. I know it's like, oh, once I break even, but that's a big deal for him to, like, break even. There's a lot of time
Yeah.
and energy to break even, and then because you can only imagine the amount of extra money that he had spent and energy and stuff that he put into the show, and he's like, I'm going to take the rest of it, I'm donating it all to families. And if you think about what comes after breaking even, that's a lot of money that he's donating
Yeah.
to those families. I wish I could remember the rapper's name. I don't know him. I don't know his music. I'm sorry. I don't know who you are, but it's funny that that person who was just a part of the show was like, yeah, just take my money, like it's not that big of a deal, like we need to help people. And Travis is there like, oh, my head hurts and I'm so sad. Like, bro, did you learn that from the Jenners and Kardashians? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, man spent too much time with Kanye, right? So he's in his own little celebrity land of woe is me, this is tough for me. Like there ain't no empathy for the people in the crowd. They're plebeians.
Well, that was the biggest thing for me. That was the biggest thing for me because, okay, you want to stay quiet on it until you know what to say. I can't lie. If it was me, I respect that. I probably would have been like, whoa, let me chill. Let me really understand the gravity of what's going on. Let me gather all the information and then make a statement, right? You want to do that? Bro, do that. I encourage everybody to take a second before you open your big mouths and gather your information before you talk. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. But when you come out and you make this cringy, crying, long face video, the fuck out of here. What is
Yeah.
that?
It's like,
You
please feel
didn't talk.
sorry for me.
There was no talk about donating, no
Yeah.
talk about families and money. Oh, I'm so sad and man, this is hard. Like, okay, hard for you how, bro? Go back
He's
to
losing
your
his character
mansion. Right. Go back to your mansion with your Barbie doll and try again in another week, okay?
Barbie doll?
Bro, literally. Seriously.
Now that has the answer to drafts.
Okay, but like I don't want to be vicious, right? Because I do have a little bit of like it's not 100% his fault. But at the same time, like you look dumb, bro. Like you look dumb. Like I know you're smarter than that, but like you look dumb. So when you get all this negative press, like you look dumb. It's like when Kanye does something stupid and we all go, well, he's got mental health, but you look dumb, bro. You look dumb. You know you look dumb. You're out here doing dumb shit. It's embarrassing for you.
So we have Wine Mom's official stamp of you look dumb on marching.
But
I think
like,
that's it. All right.
But
Dumb stamp. Let's do it. Go.
I try not to get this upset, right? Because I've had this conversation. I've been avoiding this topic because I know that I can be very opinionated. And I was talking about it with a friend recently, and she's like, okay, it's not all his fault. Like, let's be real. And I was like, yeah, girl, like, I'm totally with you on that. It's not all his fault. But at the same time, I'm like, how are you going to look so dumb? Because even, this is the thing. It's your show. It's your music. It's your money. It's all for you. This whole thing happened for you. It's your thing. How are you going to sit up there looking stupid as fuck and have nothing to say? I could not even watch the videos. I was like, what are these? I don't even understand what's going on. This guy's just rubbing his face. Like, David Dobrik's apology was better than this.
I think he posted that when he started to lose like important like deals and sponsorships. That's when he posted that. That's what
doesn't matter. He could live off the insurance policy on Kylie Jenner's lips. Chill, bro. You're fine. Make an apology. Make a real apology.
Yo, Wine Mom's coming with the fire. Wine Mom's cheese today, fam.
It's not even. But the thing is, I'm genuinely trying not to be mad. But when you have zero sense of accountability, even if you're not wrong, even if you are not wrong, it is your fucking show, your fucking music. This was because of you. Have some fucking accountability. People who are just like runners up on your show or just like a front runner for whatever you're doing, why are they donating their earnings? Travis, why is some rapper who I don't even know his name, why is he donating his earnings? And I have yet to see what you've done.
Exactly.
I'm just curious.
And it's also kind of weird that like he encouraged it. He encouraged them to do all that, and then he grabs himself and he's like, "Oh man, I feel so bad." I don't know how Travis Scott sounds, but like, I feel so bad. I don't know what happened. Like, yeah, you do know what happened. You the one who sort of directed it to happen. They listen to you.
Like I can't.
You're a Fortnite character, dude. They love you. Sorry.
Like legit. Like don't let me talk about it anymore. Like that's where I am.
Okay. All right. So the stamp for the day is that Travis Scott, you dumb, and then.
You dumb.
People need to talk about how Drake was there and no one's talking about it because Drake was there and Drake also ain't talking about shit in regards to this. But
he made one.
Is he also implicated too? I don't know.
No, his hands are clean. His hands are clean. He is nothing because he was a special appearance.
Clean issues or clean?
Well, there's
he made one Instagram post and then he pulled out of stuff.
Yeah.
Like whatever other bits of the show he pulled out, which doesn't even fucking matter. The show's not gonna happen anymore.
And Live Nation ain't gonna let that fucking cash cow go. So they're gonna do everything they can to sweep that under the rug as well.
I mean, he had a horrible album, so protect him.
I hate it. Yeah, bro.
Pumpkin spice latte.
I like Drake's music. But the album sucked. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. I agree, but damn, this is some.
I know, coming fucking right out.
Yeah.
But I'm a little aggressive towards the rappers lately. They've been a little disappointing. I'm just gonna say that.
Drake, Wine Mom is the troops on beach.
Listen, I am nobody in the world of rap, but I have my feelings. Okay.
That's what matters. That's what matters. So, on that note, Wine Mom is expressing a healthy way to mitigate your stress and a healthy way to
Yeah.
If you are experiencing burnout, which I was very close to, and which is something that I think we can all relate to in this group of humans. We all tend to work a little bit too much. Sometimes Raza is play a little bit too many video games, but that's part of his job, so it's okay. So when you get burnt out, right? My thing is I'm horrible at managing or identifying when I'm getting close to burning out, right? So when you're getting near there, Raza, how do you mitigate like, yo, I'm burning out? What does a Raza do? Eat more chicken burgers?
I think that's a reason why I'm burning out quicker. But no, I beat no. I sort of I kind of like decompress by like going outside for a second and like being in my backyard, just chilling. Leave my cell phone and stuff inside. Bring out my cat if it's a good day. Hang out with her. That's how I avoid burnouts on very busy days.
Oh, is this? Oh, okay. We're talking about just one day. We're not talking about like the true identity of a burnout.
Well, you could do both. I'm very happy with Raza's wholesome. I didn't know he just takes his cat to his patio and sits outside.
Sits outside, just chills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with vibing.
Do it.
I'm ready to go deep, but we could also. I'm just trying to give some protein. Oh, you want me to start off with like?
Yeah, go ahead, because you are the worst. You are the worst. You are the absolute worst when it comes to burnout of any kind. You don't do self-care. So what do you do, Bailey?
Burn out, and then you come back up again, and you burn out.
It's like, I fucked up. I burned out.
Yeah, so for me, it's a perpetual cycle. It's kind of like trying to get an engine going, right? Like you're turning it over, just going blah, 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 blah. Like that feels like Bailey's system of dealing with burnout, which is very unhealthy. So when we're talking about like the darkness of it, like the main thing is taking control. Like I've finally gotten to the point where I'm not balling, but I've bust my ass so that I can at least eat and everything's covered. So now that I can start
with him, I don't know why.
I can start approaching that burnout feeling of like, okay, so what does a Bailey need? A Bailey needs physical activity. Let's start there. And what is Bailey doing a little bit too much of? He's smoking a little bit too much of the devil's lettuce. So what can he do? He can cut that down. And then I just start working on the little things that I know are within my control and not approach the big things like, bro, you need to fucking do this and you gotta get your taxes together and fuck the world, you know? Like that's, I try to keep it on the little tiny ones at first to help mitigate it now because I have a terrible cycle. So then hopefully, ideally, the next time I end up in my next tailspin, I'm one more tool ahead of the game. So each time I have one of those,
he tells himself this and he's gonna be like, fuck, I forgot. Sorry.
So it's kind of like, no, so I go on the rant. That's okay. Is the thing is like embracing who you are and rather than running from it, working alongside of it.
So deep. I love it.
My burnouts, like the reason why I had to like stop myself from burning out because it led to I got tired more and that led to my anxiety to be jacked up more. So, and then I would get more like anxious, therefore more panic attacks would come up because I was just draining myself. But also, as Bailey said, like I wasn't able to, and it's still not. I'm not able to control my behavior towards overworking. Like I'm trying to like say, okay, we can balance this out, but I don't know about you guys, but I catch myself sitting in front of a computer screen for so many hours on a day without taking a break.
Right.
That like just drains me quicker.
I catch you.
Thank you.
What about you, Wide Mom?
I'm the worst. I know this and I accept this.
Okay.
If it's a small burnout, like if it's like I'm in a rough week, I will walk more. So like my lunch breaks, I don't eat, I go for a walk. Or I make sure that on the weekends I'm at the beach Saturday morning and Sunday morning to catch whatever I feel the sunrise. I make sure that I do that. And I indulge in like dumb things like having coffee at my favorite coffee shop, where listening to a podcast or sleeping in a little bit later with the cat. Those are my like tiny recoveries if I'm having a week, right? If it's like a full-blown burnout, which like Wine Mom just recovered from not too long ago. I don't even think you guys knew because I flew under the radar with it. When I didn't show up to the podcast, that's when you know like I'm burning out, right? I go full ghost. I don't text a single person back. I forget all plans. I cancel everything. I completely disappear from everyone as long as I can. So usually like a week or so.
Healthy.
And then
I like it.
And then all my friends are like, so you missed this plan, you missed this, you didn't call me back, I texted you twice, I've called you, what are you doing? And I'm like, literally having manic episodes, my dudes. I'm just doing weird things. Like in my car driving for 4 hours in one direction until I get somewhere and turn around. That's what I do when I've reached burnout. Because for me, a burnout is like, it's a hard reset for my body, and mostly my body doesn't burn out as much anymore. It's more my brain, where I'm just like, because this is all part of having mental health problems. Welcome to the podcast. We all have mental health problems here, and we're not afraid to talk about it. Sorry if that makes you uncomfortable. But when I was doing therapy, originally, when I talk about burnouts, because I didn't even know that that's what it was. I'm going on a tangent right now. But I didn't really understand what a burnout was. And then when I would explain to my therapist that I literally, it's as if my phone is do not disturb for a full week. I can't. And he's like, yeah, you burnt out. And I was like, but I don't burn out. I'm not the burnout person. I'm the always available, always dependable, do everything for everyone, don't know how to say no. I'm the reliable. That's not possible. And he's like, well, you burnt out and you fucked off. And so now you're coming back to reality and you're dealing with like the result of a burnout, which is like trying to sleep again properly, trying to get up and like get back into a routine, you know, remembering to take care of yourself. And so it's like Bailey said, little self-care things are so valuable in a burnout. Also, not feeling guilty for burning out. I think that's a big thing. It's like, because there's a lot of stigma around burning out. It's like, oh, you're burnt out. You're just being lazy. You could do so much more. But everybody's level of burnout it goes from like one bad time to like a week of bad times. Everybody burns out at a different level. Sometimes it takes people years to burn out. When you burn out, like, you got to stop. You got to pause and recover. You can't chug through a burnout. And I think that's the biggest thing that people should take away from burnouts is like, when it's happening, you literally have to tell yourself, I'm burning out. I need to deal with this. And like, it's okay. Deal with it. Tell people you're burnt out and will leave you alone. It's fine. Deal with your shit. That's the biggest takeaway.
like especially with something like this whole endeavor that we're doing, like my fear is like getting creatively burnt out. And like well, when that happens, like I'm writing everything down now in case that happens. Like, oh, here's an idea, let me just put this down. Because it's like creative burnouts are like, in college I was so afraid of that, so afraid of not being able to produce work that I wanted to, because I'm just out of it. I just, like, as you said, hard resetting. It's just like burning out to me comes from like a bunch of different things too, like a fear as well, but just like, hey, it can happen at any time, and that's
Yeah.
what like freaks the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like there's moments that I've literally had to catch myself this past month. Like, what are you doing? You're spending way too much time here. Relax for a moment. And like, yeah, like self-help is something that I need to do. We all need to do, but easier said than done.
I think the problem is, okay, this is the big thing. And I've been realizing this a lot lately. Mostly, and I know it sounds dumb, but from TikTok, right? Because the hype right now is like being your own boss, being an entrepreneur, being a hustler, and being somebody who like makes goals, goes after your goals, and you only see the 5 minutes of success that people have online. You don't
Yeah,
see the days, the weeks, the months, the years that go into
yeah,
getting to those points. And it's like, you're going to burn yourself out if you think that you're going to be. Because here's the thing, not everyone is cut out to be a hustler. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it hurts your feelings, but some people are not meant to be hustlers. And you need to just respect that about yourself and chill. And like handle things, take care of yourself. I know
Whoa.
Bailey's about to tell me that's not the case, but it's true. You're
No,
not everyone is meant to be a hustler. You don't have to try and keep up with the trends you see online of people being their
Yeah,
own
because
business
yeah,
owners, and
I kind
you
of
don't have
agree with that.
to work
Bebe
your
isn't
fucking
here to
9 to
always
5.
argue with you. Jesus Christ, I was gonna say that's the toxic part of like Gary V culture, right?
Okay,
Like
fine,
I
I'll
hate
allow
this
you.
whole
Okay.
this whole new as a hustler myself. It's not, no, you don't want to, it's very tiresome. You're going to
Well,
be
and
very
that's the
broke
thing,
for a long time. I have no
right?
long-term securities. Like, it's anxiety inducing. It's
It
very
is.
fair to take a normal path in life, man. I kind
Well,
of admire like the fact that someone can go to a job and just like go home, right?
well,
That's never been a thing in my life.
but you also have to think like our generation, right? Our generation and maybe like a couple below us, right? I wouldn't even say like the baby generation, which is like the TikTok generation. I wouldn't even say them really fully understand this, but I remember watching YouTubers start from like 10 subscribers because that's how new YouTube was. Watch them start from 10 subscribers and end up as like multi-million subscribers, okay? These extremely successful people. And then burn out so aggressively where like they basically gave up half of their on career to like focus on themselves. And I don't think people fully understand or respect what that means when somebody burns out that way and like
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that takes, right? Because you see these people like hustling and making videos and doing all these things, and it's like we forget that they're people. And it's like this kind of goes back to when we were talking about parasocial stuff. It's like we don't stop to see people as people. We just think that we know them. And
yeah.
we're watching. I think like the generation that we are is so aggressive towards any type of like creator or hustler because the second they fail, which is usually a form of burnout when they fail because they're like, I've done too much, I can't do any, I can't keep up with my own competition of yourself. So you burn out, and then you know they don't release a video for a couple weeks, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Are you quitting YouTube? What's happening? And it's like, can we normalize taking a break? Because even with your 9 to 5 Monday to Friday job, it's a big deal to just take a week off doing that. Okay, everybody's
Yeah,
like, something is automatically wrong if you need time off, and everybody's mad because you need time off. It's like, no, we're not meant to work the way that we do,
uh,
and so naturally you'll burn out and you need time to recover
yeah.
from that.
And that's the thing about being a content creator. Like, I think you burn out trying to deliver expectations, which you can't.
Hmm.
So
It's like every time I say, like, if my, because I try to be funny most of the time to try and like brush off my mental health because it's always a topic, right? But it's like when people are like, oh, like, how are you doing, how are things? Yeah, I'm not good, bro, but I'm chilling. And like people think that I'm being funny, but it's like, no, I'm not good, but I'm chilling. Like I'm just
yeah,
gonna chug through this, but I don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm when I say that, like it's, like give me a minute.
Yeah, that takes a
People
big
just think
amount of.
it's funny.
It takes a big amount of self-awareness, though. Most people aren't that emotionally intelligent.
Listen, you don't know how many times I start a message and I'm like, if I just say to my friend, hey, just so you know, like they already know, okay, Lily's about to peace out for God knows how long. Like,
Yeah.
there's a couple of my friends that like, you know, because everybody has a friend that they're like, if I disappear, please call the police. I hope you guys have friends like that. That you know, if you disappear,
That's
you let
right.
them know.
Like,
Okay,
actually.
get a friend that does that for that you
Yeah,
tell
Bailey, if you disappear, don't bother.
them.
All right.
No, but like I do have a friend that that I'll be like, yo, I'm about to really like I'm gonna peace out.
Mhm.
Like, you know the meme where the guy does the peace sign and he just evaporates? That's about to
Yeah,
be me at least
I'm
for the next right.
SpongeBob. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
gonna be me for the next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Just check in periodically to make sure I still have a pulse, okay? Like
Yeah.
sometimes
Okay.
I gotta do that. And my friends are like, all right, she's gonna peace out. She'll come back. It's fine. You know, just let her do her thing. You know? It's like people gotta
I
start doing that for themselves. Honestly.
Yeah. I just cut out. I was telling Bailey I do something like that, but it's more permanent. I just cut people out. More like
Bro. Yeah.
yeah.
Which
So
that's a whole nother thing. The
yeah, I gotta work on that.
it's a no, but you know what? It's a whole nother conversation. I think cutting people out of your life is definitely 100% A-O fucking K.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like when I
I
start
don't
like
think it's toxic like people think
going
it's toxic.
on a rampage, bro, like oh where's my oh wait I cut like I told him to go F himself. Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
So to
So
tie
that's
it
why
If
to tie
people no
it.
longer serve you in life, they gotta go. Because if they're
that's
not helping you, you're not helping them. Let them go.
exactly.
Yeah,
Sorry, Bailey. Sorry.
well, so to tie it back to the topic is like that's exactly like as you're saying that's something that I have struggles with when I'm burning out. I lose a lot of my social circle because I forget to communicate with this, I forget to communicate with that. So I feel like I gotta rekindle relationships every time, and that becomes a strain on in and on itself when you're talking
Ugh.
about burnout, right?
Oh,
So
100%. Yeah.
It's like if you don't have friends, because I know I've done this to Bailey. I know I've done this to like a couple of my girlfriends where I
Mhm.
just fuck off. And then people are like, "Okay, so are you back now?" I'll just appear. They'll be like, oh, "So you good now?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm gravy. I just need to go away."
Well,
But
that's
it's
where Bailey gets it from. Okay.
no, but it's like I think it's important as a friend, right? Like me, like I
Mhm.
have friends that do that, and I think it's important as a friend to people to be like, I recognize this is your pattern of healing, and I'll
Yeah.
just be here because I know when I fuck off, I can go back to my like, hey, I've returned from my hole, and she'll be like, oh, good, you want to enjoy the sunlight now? Like, you're back, and it's
Yeah.
not like I'm not made to feel guilty. She's like, do you feel better? Like, are you good now? And it's like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm good now.
Mhm.
Like, you
Mhm.
need to be that friend as well as like people need to be those friends for you as
Yeah.
well. Like
Like,
they need to see you as you are.
like I've had friends like that too. Like I am like a couple of my friends have just like dipped on me. I was like, okay, let them
Bye.
be. When they want to come back, then
Hmm.
they'll come back. And
Mhm.
weeks pass. I'm like, oh hey man, sorry, I was in my field. Oh cool, no worries. You good now? Yeah. Do you want to play some Halo? Sick. So it's just like that's how I am. Unless you
Right.
really like screw like you just be an aloof for like no
Mhm.
reason at all, and I don't get it. I'll be here as that grounded rock for you, but like
Mhm.
Which that's
yeah,
good. But
yeah.
I will say, the one thing that we should all improve in, especially me as a ghoster who just like fucks
Mhm.
off, communicating to people like if someone's texting you, be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you like what's going on? I'm not hearing from you." Just let them know. Be like, "I'm doing a thing. I'll be back."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
having
just yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
having mental health problems. Like it's not hard just to say to
Yeah.
your friend like, "Shit's a little dark up there, but I'll be back." It's that simple.
yeah. I'm 1v1ing myself, B. Just give
Right.
me a sec. Yeah, like that's how I do it. Yeah, yeah.
My friends are so used to it now. They just send me a thumbs up like, "I
Okay.
see you when you're back." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. That's how it should be ultimately. Like,
Yeah.
unless you reach out to people and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, other people should be like, okay, just give them a minute. They've done this before. There's not much we can do. This
Yeah.
is their own way of coping.
especially if you're like me and you're not a talker. Like I don't
Mhm.
talk to people. Like I'm being candid right now. Let's just say
Mhm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But normally, like I don't really talk to people what's going on because I just prefer to deal with it myself because it's much faster for me to process it on my own versus
Yeah.
trying to take in, because the thing is, like, you always feel guilty that you have to take other people's advice or like try and do what they tell you to do. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
I'll be back. I can do this myself. It's like when someone's trying to help you clean your apartment and you're like, no, just stop touching stuff. I'll just do it myself. Like,
Yeah.
okay, shut up. Don't touch anything. That's
Yeah,
what
Yeah.
it's
it's like,
like.
well, like let me take care of me because the only
Right.
person that understands me is me. So,
Exactly. That's it.
Well, good job, folks. Look at us. Look at us marching into madness, solving other people's madness.
but
Honestly.
not our own.
Yeah, we'll just keep spiraling as long as you sign up to our Patreon.
Really.
Just watch our dysfunctional family implode on one.
Yeah. I mean, the point here is if you
Yeah,
need to
give
burn
us
out,
give us the final word. Get in there.
if you need to burn out, just at least let one person know, and then
Mhm.
bro, burn out.
F off, yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
Do whatever it is you need to do. Smoke a fatty in the morning, go for a long walk, drive your car 4 hours in one direction, stay at a
Yeah.
hotel. Like, go ahead
Mhm.
and do those things. Just let
Buy a
one
boat, yeah.
person, right?
Mhm.
Let one person know, just in case. Just in case. But other than that, fuck off, dude. Do your thing. Come back when you're ready.
That's
Honestly.
There you
how
go.
I've done it. It's like, hey, but me time. Just,
Yeah.
just, I'll respawn soon. So just bear.
Exactly.
BRB, I got some min maxing to do.
Yeah,
Right.
AFK for a second B. So
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, that's it. Good job, kids. Good job, kids. I like how helpful we are to humans.
we're not at all. It's just wine, mom.
No, you guys are good. Don't worry.
Yeah, we try, Raza. Come on, don't discredit us
We,
that much.
we're like, hey, we have mental problems, but we're just gonna sweep them under the rug. It's like,
Exactly.
let me talk about them in plain detail, and let me talk to you about how I'm dealing with them. Because, like, man,
I mean, to be fair, therapists are some of the most fucked up people too. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
that's why they're so good
yeah.
at helping.
Oh, yeah, for real.
Cruz, I'm looking at you.
Speaking of therapy, we're going to offer some more therapy to the internet with Raza's Am I the
Yes.
Asshole Reddit advice section. And this time, he's picked one that's rather easy for me to read without having to paraphrase, which is
That's why
fantastic.
I have to dig deep for a short one.
I can paraphrase more so nowadays, but that's for later. So, you guys ready? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday, my husband changed our son's, he's 4 months, diaper for the very first time. I warned him
this
to
one. Okay.
I warned him to be careful since our son has peed on my parents before, and that it was best to have the fresh diaper ready so you can be as quick as possible to avoid the risk. My husband, of course, wouldn't listen to me and told me he knew what he was doing. You guys already know how this ended. My son ended up peeing on my husband. I said, "Good job, buddy," to my husband, and now he's angry at me. He told me it wasn't funny and I should have helped him instead of just watching it while he got peed on. Am I the asshole?
No.
So, yeah, no. So, as a man who has peed on himself, apparently, when I was a baby,
Oh,
FYI.
fucking Jesus. Everyone peed on themselves as a baby. What kind of comment is that as a man who peed on
It's
himself?
a very Raza-esque comment. Okay?
Oh, man. When I'm reading that, I thought the kid was like, I thought it was a 14-year-old
Like a
kid.
4-year-old? I thought it was like a
Yeah.
4-year-old.
Yeah, I thought it was just like, oh, like this is a
At
big deal
first.
to be in Reddit post. It's like, oh, just a baby peeing on himself. So,
Yeah.
as a person who did that, it ain't really a big deal. Everybody gets peed on. So,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, like, okay, so I have a godson,
Mhm.
and I've had to change his diaper multiple times. And the first time, so you learn very quick. When you're changing the diaper of a boy, I don't know what it is. As soon as the air hits, they're like, "All right, I gotta pee right now. This very second."
Our trigger is there, so
You
that's
have to
it.
open the clean diaper, okay?
Mhm.
And then you take the other diaper off and you put the clean one. You just kind of you wipe as quick as you can. You put the clean one, you hover it, and then clean the rest, and then put the diaper on. Don't be stupid. Obviously, the baby's
Right.
gonna pee. And the way I feel, but this is the first diaper this man has changed, and I know that baby's not brand new, so he got what he deserved. You got peed
Yeah.
on. You're
You got
dumb.
peed on.
You didn't
We,
listen to your wife, so good
we need a
job, bud.
button. You
I
got
would
peed
say,
on.
yeah, that's a life lesson right there. Not an am I the asshole,
No,
Mhm.
That's
sucks to
it.
suck.
I think everybody deserves the right to laugh at someone if they get peed on.
I mean, it's
Yes.
part of having a baby. I mean, I've been peed on. I've been pooped on. I've been thrown up on. That's sorry for your
By a,
loss, bud.
by a baby, right?
Yes,
Okay.
obviously, freak.
Yeah, again, that's thing.
But no, but that's what babies. But that's what babies do, right? Because it's like the thing is, like, babies do that because they're like, oh, I trust this person to like take
Mhm.
care of what's about to happen. So they get comfortable, and it
Mhm.
happens. It's your responsibility to take care of it.
So you
When
should
I
take the
was-
pee as a compliment. The pee is a
Right.
Yeah.
compliment.
He trusts you. It's like a cat spur, like a male cat spraying you.
No,
You're in
that's
his territory.
This is mine. This is mine. The baby's marking you. Yeah.
So a good sign, like when you're a baby, you're like, oh, I trust this person. I'm gonna puke on them. That's
Yeah.
a sign of trust.
okay. But also, just so you know, boy babies peeing on their parents while getting their diapers changed is not only a common knowledge thing, but it's also in every movie and every TV show. It's a trope in all of these. You know that it's going to happen. Assume it's going to happen. So, like, he should have been prepared. Hello? She tried to warn you. And I know you've seen it in movies and TV before. Come on.
I don't know. That's not what happened in Diaper Sim 2021 last time I played it.
Diaper Sim is wrong.
I can't back you up on that, Bailey, because I've never played it.
Anyway, we don't feel bad for a lazy husband.
I
He
agree.
probably it's not the bread. He's probably the bedwetter, but he's also probably not the bread.
It's 2021. There is
Yeah.
no such thing as a breadwinner in the house, okay? It's 50-50. She do the baby work, he do the job. 50-50. A baby is a full-time job. Have you ever done it?
No.
Exactly. Listen, I took care of my godson to help my girlfriend out when he was born. It's a full-time job.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be so fun with the baby, and I'm gonna feed him, change his diaper, and we're gonna go for walks. No, it's not. It is not. It is not a fun time.
Dog sitting is even easier.
You want to know bro? Dog sitting is even easier. You want to burn out? You want to burn out? You want to burn out? Take care of a baby. Take care of a baby.
Or that.
And you will burn out. And then you have to keep going while you're burnt out because there's a little person going, I can't even wipe my own ass. Sorry. You don't have a choice. That's a burnout.
So moral of the story.
Warning.
Don't have children.
Fuck babies. We don't like them.
Yeah,
No, I like
kids,
babies. I like babies. Just be prepared. You're not going to have a good time.
When you edit it, put a quote that says, fuck them kids and say dash white mom.
There you go.
I never said that. I don't feel that way.
That's the cover for the episode right there.
Right.
Fuck them. I'll make the phone.
God.
Okay, all right. And with that, folks, we are going to end the episode. Afterwards, if you hang out with us, you listen to the stream live on Mondays, you can watch us and hang out and chat with us. So you've got some strong opinions about baby care and peed on and whether or not you think it's appropriate. You got to hang out with us because you can interact directly. All right, sorry. I don't know why I went into this weird Sopranos convincing mode. All right.
So my story.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. We got the outro video. We'll see you next week. And subscribe if you're listening on podcasts. All right, Raza, get in there.
One last thing.
Oh, gosh.
Happy birthday to Martin Scorsese for inventing Italian people.
Oh my gosh. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you again for watching us badly talk about these topics.
You can follow us on Twitch, Marching Into Madness, all one word, no space. On the gram, marching_into_madness, and on Patreon at patreon.com/marchingintomadness. And again, on Le Discord at Marching Into Madness.
Join us and Bailey will pay you 10 whole Canadian dollars.
You can follow Whitey over at gnarly_media on the Insta. You must definitely follow the life of our whole podcast, Wine Mom, at XWineMomX, because the year's 2002, and we still have the X in our names. And me, your favorite brown boy, at _R.R_Malik_.
Thank you for the third time. We love you. Drink some milk and be healthy.
Remember, kids, say no to school and yes to
It's like such bad advice. It's like, here we put this well-formulated podcast together with good insight on facts and truth and political points and social issues. Don't go to school, dude.
Oh, God.
Bailey
Motherfucker shouldn't be in their school after saying that.
It's like, Bailey listens to me say the sentence and he goes, maybe I should say my sentence now.
Thank you again for